Your shoes are soaked in gasoline before the fire starts. Griselda said, leave nothing behind, not even ash. You strike the match and step into the dark. This warehouse belonged to a man who crossed her. You never learned his name, only his mistake. 6 months ago, you were a broke kid off the street. Now you are the Cocaine Godmother's executioner. The bar in Miami, 1979. She found you first. She bought your drink and said nothing at all. 3 nights later, her men dragged you into a warehouse. Griselda slid a photograph across the table. He owed her $40,000 in unpaid product. She asked if you had ever fired a gun. You lied. That lie built your new life. No interview, no second chance, no way out. You said yes, or you never left that room. Griselda taught you her method herself. 2 men, 1 bike, 1 driver, 1 shooter. Fire while moving, vanish before anyone reacts. No footprints, no witnesses, no chase, no evidence. By decade's end, you watched Miami fear the sound of an engine. Cops called it the motorcycle plague on the news. Nobody knew the woman behind it stood 5 feet tall. You did. Your first kill was the man from that photograph. You rode behind the shooter through downtown at midnight. He never saw the bike until it was over. Griselda paid you $5,000, no questions. This was only the start, and you knew it. You did not sleep. You just counted the money. A year in, you were her most trusted shooter. You watched her run Miami cocaine like a private army. Judges, cops, rivals, you watched all of them fear her name. 1 hit she ordered over a parking space. Loyalty kept you alive. Hesitation got men buried. You watched grown men beg, and she never blinked. Other bosses negotiated. Griselda removed the problem. She built a crew called the Pistoleros, mostly teenagers. Some were 14, recruited off the Medellin streets. She paid them per kill, cash on delivery. You trained 2 of them yourself, on her orders. 1 boy asked if killing ever gets easier. You told him it never does, and meant it. You watched the Cali Cartel eye her rise with concern. They saw her methods as reckless, loud, bad for business. A Cold War started between 2 networks in Miami. Bodies from both sides turned up weekly. You were pulled into missions that had nothing to do with debts. This was territory, and territory beat money. Then the story turns darker than you expected. She handed you a photo of her own husband. You had eaten dinner at that man's table. Griselda saw you freeze and said one thing. Hesitation gets good men killed in this business. You took the photo. You never hesitated again. 2 weeks later, he was dead in a hotel room. Police ruled it a robbery gone wrong. You knew better, and so did everyone around her. 3 husbands, 3 deaths. 1 nickname stuck to her. You heard the streets call her the Black Widow of Miami. You started sleeping with 1 eye open. Even her own men whispered her name like a curse. She told you her story once, in pieces. A street kid in Medellin who stole wallets before she could read. By her 20s, smuggling cocaine into New York. Married young. Buried that husband fast. By the late 70s, Miami became her new war zone. She brought a method America had never seen, and you carried it out. You remember the mansion she showed you first. Marble floors, gold fixtures, a garage full of cars. All of it built on her never trusting anyone twice. Power like hers came with a body count. She kept a private accountant just to track the bodies you left behind. 1 target was a woman who ran a flower shop. She had seen too much, Griselda said. You sat outside that shop for 3 nights. On the 3rd night, you never went inside. You told Griselda the target had left the city. She never checked. She never doubted you. It was the only name you crossed off yourself. By 1983, you watched Miami's murder rate spiral out of control. 200 bodies traced back to her war. The DEA built a task force just for her. They called it Operation Banshee, and it was coming for you both. Unmarked cars sat outside your apartment at night. Paranoia kept you alive. Paranoia was the only rule. Griselda changed safe houses every week without warning. You learned to sleep in your clothes, boots on. An informant inside her crew started talking to agents. Griselda found out before the DEA made an arrest. The informant vanished. His body was never found. She told you silence protects everyone, permanently. You understood exactly what she meant, and you obeyed. Then came the night that nearly ended everything. A rival crew ambushed your car at an intersection. Bullets ripped through glass before you could react. You crashed, crawled out, left 2 friends behind. Griselda showed up within the hour, and for once, she looked afraid. She told you that you were a marked man now. For the first time, she offered you a way out. You refused. There was nowhere else to go. After that night, everything between you changed. She trusted you with jobs no one else touched. Every target got a file, a photo, a route. The work turned colder. You stopped counting the names. You stopped asking who deserved it. Weeks before her arrest, the DEA almost caught her first. An undercover buyer got close enough to record her voice. Griselda sensed something wrong halfway through the meeting. She excused herself to the bathroom and never came back. The building was surrounded 20 minutes later. Too late. You drove the getaway car that night. Neither of you spoke for 11 miles. February 1985. Federal agents finally caught Griselda in California. You thought the empire had ended with her arrest. It never did. She ran it from a cell. Her name still made grown men flinch behind bars. Orders moved through visitors, lawyers, and coded letters. You kept working, waiting on instructions that never stopped. Prosecutors tried 3 times to send her to death row. Each time, a key witness disappeared before testifying. One turned up dead days before the trial began. Even in prison, Griselda controlled outcomes from behind glass. The courtroom eventually gave up trying to convict her. She pled guilty to lesser charges and walked away with years, not death. 19 years later, she was extradited back to Colombia. You assumed she would fade into a quiet life. She didn't. She became more dangerous instead. Old rivals resurfaced the moment she landed home. You heard she was rebuilding contacts within a year. Back in Miami, the city changed fast. New crews moved in, none of them knowing your history. You worked odd jobs, kept your head down, stayed quiet. People who once feared your name walked past unaware. It felt less like freedom and more like being erased. September 2012, she was shot outside a butcher shop. A man on a motorcycle fired into her body. The method she invented finally caught up with her. The cocaine godmother died the way she made others die. Colombian police never identified the shooter or who sent him. The case remains officially unsolved to this day. Investigators found a handwritten list in her final belongings, names of people she still did not trust. Your name was crossed off that same list. No one ever confirmed why she spared you. Loyalty, or she simply forgot. No one knows. You are alive today because of one crossed-out name. Somewhere in Miami, you still hear motorcycles at night. Would you have pulled the trigger if she asked again?